It's a beautiful day to be alive and an artist. My name is Matt with the Hat, and today I want to talk to you about creative champions. Now, what is a creative champion and how does it help you in your journey to free your inner child artist? I'll tell you a little story real quick. So, my mom is one of my creative artist champions. And there are a lot of reasons for that. One of the things that is so courageous about my mother, if you were to look at her journey as an artist, it's pretty remarkable. So growing up, my mom had told us, I majored in theater when I was in college, and then things happened, and she didn't get her degree at that time, but she kept on acting. She was continually acting in different productions. The church that I grew up with, they did productions all of the time. It was just kind of part of their DNA. And Mom was constantly in productions. That's actually where I started first acting. And I was like 3 years old or something crazy the first time I was on stage. And so Mom continually was acting. It was just kind of always there for her to be involved. And then she got the opportunity to run a youth drama program. And she ran that. And it seemed like she always was inching towards moving forward in her art. And so then the next thing that happens is she writes an original production and directs this whole thing. It becomes this big citywide event in my hometown. It was called Resurrection X. And we've got like newspaper clippings. It was a big deal in that town. We had like Harley Davidson and Chili's sponsor us. This is when I'm like 15 or 16, right? And so that's going on, and things evolve, and suddenly my mom is no longer doing theater. Well, guess what? At the age of 50 years old, my mom went back to college. She got her degree and then did everything possible to be able to teach theater, because that was her dream, was to teach theater at a school. And she just recently retired from teaching theater after a long, wonderful career as a teacher. And then what does she do, right? She helped my partner and me create a nonprofit theater organization. I should say performing arts organization. And we rewrote Resurrection X, and we produced it like a year and a half ago, something like that. And right now she's currently directing still, and she's got another youth drama program that she's running. And so the thing that I want to say with a creative champion is sometimes they're leading by example, right? My mom has shown through example that she's going to keep fighting for her art. Things may not work out every time. Life is so tumultuous at times. You never know what to expect, but she always kept returning to the theater. And so what I want you to do today in regards to your creative champions, this is another Julia Cameron Artist Way exercise, is I want you to list your Hall of Champions. Now, these people are not just who you admire, but they are also the people who always have your back. They're the ones that when you first write that draft of a script, because I write plays and things too, they're the ones you show because they read it and they read it for what it is. They read it that it is that first draft. It's that first attempt at creating magic on the page, right? Those creative champions are the ones that see where it's going to be, not where it is currently. My old mentor is one of my creative champions. His name is Mark. And he used to tell me, and it's really funny because I kind of live it now. He used to tell me there's no such thing as good writing, only rewriting and editing. And how true that is. How true that is that when you first write a play, I'm on, I think, my 9th draft of Pop's Wrestling School. I'm so excited about the show. You're going to be hearing a whole lot more about it as we keep progressing with it and we keep working towards producing it. I'm going to show you some of the activities that I go on when I'm involved in creating this and things like that. But I'm on like my 9th draft right now as I'm honing in and I'm rewriting it and I'm finding the things and tweaking the things to make it more understandable. And those creative champions are the ones that are there. And so I want you to list who are your Hall of Champions. Who are the ones that always believe in you? Who are the people that are going to say, you got this? And they're not just going to pick it apart and tell you, well, I didn't like this, right? Because there is a time for constructive feedback, but right when you're beginning is not that time. So I want you to make a list of those creative champions. And just like we did with the monsters, right? I want you to take some time and draw what you think of them when they're encouraging you, we created a monster, right? The Harry Potter monster that we transformed into something funny. I'd like you to draw. You can even use AI photo programs because I love doing that. Draw the ideal of how they make you feel when they're your champion. So it might be the knight in shining armor. It might be a superhero. It might be, it could be anything. And let there be a visual representation of what that person does for you. Another thing that I would like you to try, because if you notice this first week that we're working through the Artist's Way, we are dealing with a lot of creative recovery. We will be throughout, and this is just the beginning. But one of the things that I have found to be very useful in my own creative recovery is going ahead and writing a thank you letter to yourself. I think this is really important. I think it's very important to say thank you for trying. Thank you for putting yourself out there. Thank you for creating. Thank you for everything you're doing in believing yourself, because I know the sacrifice that it takes. There's a very famous essay called The Courage to Create. It's by Rollo May. And part of this essay, and I hope you read it if you have the time, but part of this essay, Rollo May says that the biggest obstacle to creating art of any kind is actually sitting down at the chair and starting. That's the most courageous moment, is when you do it. And you're going to hear me say that over and over. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. So I'm just going to encourage you, write a thank you letter to yourself. You also may take one of those champions and write a letter to your creative champion, right? And tell them why they're your creative champion. And what you can do, and this takes a little bit of vulnerability, right? What you can do is you can send it like old school US mail, right? You can email it, a little less personal. Or my favorite is you can call and actually read that letter out to them and tell them why you're grateful for the times they've encouraged you, why you're grateful for the times that they believed in you. Because I can tell you from experience, as an artist, there are dark days. There are days where I don't believe in myself. There are days where I'm like, am I on the wrong track, right? But Mark, my old mentor, he told me once, he said, every time you get a thank you, save them and put them in a box, because when those days get rough, you open up that box and you start to read and you start to see, oh, I'm really making an impact here. And so what my challenge is for you today is not only to send that type of encouragement to yourself, which is, of course, something so important to just send self-love to you, but also to be the person that is a light to your creative champions so that that helps them to keep on going, right? And the other thing, and within this, there's someone in your life that you can trust. If not, it is very important that you find a creative community that is nurturing, that is loving, that believes in you, because that's going to be a big part of this creative recovery, is that you can't do all this alone, right? You can do part of it alone, and there's going to be a lot of alone stuff that we do in these exercises. But one of the things to be looking out for is, where can I find my folks? Where can I find my people where I can share my unique, beautiful, powerful, wonderful voice? I hope that this has helped you. I hope that these exercises have encouraged you. I am so excited about the growth that you are having. Of course, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. If this is helping you, I would love to hear your comments and love to hear how these exercises are impacting you. Keep doing your morning pages. Go on that artist date. I'm also going to be posting a video today showing you about, it's like a 10-second video, but it's showing you a little bit of the work that I did yesterday on my painting. So I hope you're all doing well. Love you. Have a beautiful day.